Good morning, students. Welcome to today's business studies class. And the previous class, we already add the introductory class to this chapter, that is new chapter called planning, because how exactly the planning starts, how it works, and where it takes us. So about that, we had discussed in detail along with the one simple example of the exhibition where exhibition which was held in our college. So I had explained you relating to that the simple introduction class of the planning. I think by now you might be knowing very well how the planning works and what exactly is involved in the planning. I have also discussed the meaning in the introductory class, but in today's class, I will be actually giving you all the meaning, your textbook meaning, and then we will be moving on with the four features for today's class. So the meaning is, as I have said it to you already, planning involves setting objectives and developing appropriate course of action to achieve these objectives. In the sense, I have already said, setting your objectives in the sense in the next 5 years where your company want to be. ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ so much marks in your board exam ಅಂದ್ರೆ this year you are in the second year PU and you want to get 90% or 95%. That is your objective. You are setting the objective, you are setting the goal. Not planning involves not only setting of goals but also developing a appropriate course of action. Andre ಆ goal ಅನ್ನು achieve ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ what are the ways and what is the best way of achieving that particular objective. That is what plan tells us. By developing the appropriate course of action to achieve these objectives, setting of the objective, setting the goal, and also the ಯಾವ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ through which route we can go and achieve that objective is what planning tells us. This is the simple meaning of planning. Next, one more add on to it. If it is asked for the 2 marks, 2 marks ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಎರಡು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಬರಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. If it is asked what is the meaning of planning for 1 marks, if you all write any one sentence, it is more than enough. We'll see second sentence what it tells us. Planning is deciding in advance what to do and how to do. I have given a clear explanation in the introductory class of this chapter. I said what to do, how to do, when to do, who is to do it, and for whom it is to be done. So that is what planning involves. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ಯಾರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಮೊದಲೇ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಮೊದಲೇ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಾವೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ by the introductory class as well as by this time, I hope each and every student who is seeing this video or who is attending this class is able to understand what is planning, and not only able to understand, they also know what is planning. ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. Because if you all do not understand the meaning, the entire chapter is waste. Because each and everything in this chapter of various functions of management, that is your planning, planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling, what we are doing is, first we should know the meaning. Planning andre ಏನು, organizing andre ಏನು, staffing andre ಏನು. ಸೊ ಅದು ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಉಳಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಆ ಮೀನಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, by this time I hope all of you all are clear with the meaning of the planning. So moving on, so we will be discussing the features of the planning. So first feature is planning focuses on achieving of objectives. Planning focuses on achieving of objectives. For students, planning is a purposeful function of management. ಇವಾಗ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾಕೆ? ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಂದು ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. Simply do they sit together, do they come together, we are like do they come together and discuss something? They discuss something because they have some purpose, uddesha ide. To achieve that purpose they have to plan. So to achieve that purpose, how they have to plan? They include setting up of objective and formulating the action plan to achieve these objectives. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಐ ಗಿವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಬಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಯು ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿ and in the second PUC board examination you want to get 95% as your result. 95% as your result. So that is the objective you are setting, and accordingly you are formulating the plan to achieve those objectives. Formulating the plan in the sense, ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನಗಳ ಒಳಗೆ ನಂದು ಇಷ್ಟು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ನಾನು ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಕಲಿಬೇಕಾ, ಆಫ್ಟರ್ನೂನ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಕಲಿಬೇಕಾ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಮ್ಸ್ ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಮ್ಸ್ ನಾನು ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಮ್ಸ್ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೆ ಎಂಟೈರ್ 24 days ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್, some 6 to 8 hours you will be in the college, your other time, your personal time, your sleeping time, other things, how much time you will get for revision, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಆ ಒಂದು ಗೋಲ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಗೋಲ್? ಟು ಗೆಟ್ 95% result in your second PUC board examination. So when you plan all those, you get ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ದ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಆ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. ಇವತ್ತು ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ನಾಳೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನಗಳ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಲ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು. ಬೈ ದಿಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಆಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಂಗ್ ಎಟ್ ಒನ್ಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ರಿವಿಷನ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾನ್. ವೈ ಯು ಆರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾನ್? ಟು ಅಚೀವ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ objective of getting 95% result in your board examination. So this is how the planning focuses on achieving the objectives. Going on to the next point, planning is a primary functions of management. Planning is a primary function of management. As I said, planning is the initial thing, because if there is no plan you cannot do anything else. ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಇದರಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ, ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮಗೊಂದು ಗೋಲ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಗೋಲ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ it helps us to set up the action plan or route. So that is why planning is a primary functions of management. Not only management, your this example, the example what we have taken, that is getting 95% result in your second PUC board examination. So planning is the primary function. In the sense, in the planning, what you will do, you will set that goal. I want to get 95% result. So that is the primary function, and based on that you get other things, like you want to borrow new books. So that and all is coming next. So you score more books anta barutte, you are trying to get those books. So that and all comes secondary, but starting the planning is the basic step, and it is a primary function or the first function in the management which will help you to go higher and reach your objective. Similarly, planning is the primary function not only in your studies, it is the primary function in the management. I will tell you why. Because in the management we have 5 functions, as you all know by now: planning, planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. So why planning is an initial function? Planning is a base function. Without planning you cannot do any other thing. So in planning, what you do, you set up your objective and develop the course of action plan to achieve that objective. Only when you do that planning and develop the course of action plan, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ ಅದು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಯಾವ ತರ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, how many staff members we require, how shall we do the recruitment. So how shall we direct this one, how shall we control all the staff, how shall we control the works, how shall we see the work is going as per our plans. So to do all those things, to do all other managerial functions, the planning is must. Without planning, no managerial function or no other function, might be organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling, cannot be performed without doing planning. So that is why planning is the function of the management which comes at the first, at the very beginning. Okay. So I hope the second point is clear by now. Third point is planning is pervasive. Planning is pervasive in the sense, first I will be connecting it with your examples, and secondly I will be coming on to your textbook explanation. So as I said, you all want to get 95% result in your second PUC board examination. To get 95% board result in 95% in your board examination, there are various subject ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ there are various lessons or various chapters. For every student, some chapter might be easy, for some chapter might be difficult. Some chapter might be easy, some chapter might be difficult. Whereas for student A, what chapters are easy? For student B, that chapters might be difficult. For student B, which chapters are easy? Those chapters might be difficult for student A. So that's why what happens, both want to get the 95%. What they have to do for that? So ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈಸಿ ಚಾಪ್ಟರಿಗೆ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ವೇ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫಾರ್ ದ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಮೋರ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಸೊ that is how they have to plan. Here what happens, planning is pervasive in the sense, for every chapter you are planning. For easy chapter you are having different plan, you are not giving more time, you are planning for that, you are giving little time, you are studying little because you know that chapter is very easy. For the tough chapters you need to give more time because your ultimate aim is 95% result, so you cannot skip any chapter. So the tough chapter you are giving more time to study those tough chapters. What are the easy materials, how to get those materials, how much time to be allotted, once again you are planning. So planning not only it was done in the initial stage where you are setting up of your objective, but also when you find once again the tough chapter, once again you are planning, and try to make that goal, ultimate goal, to be achieved. Similarly, we are coming to the management. Planning is required at all levels of management and all departments of the organization. See students, top level management, what they will do, they will plan their ultimate profit is to get profit only and lay down the plans or the strategies to the middle level and the lower level management. What is the how the middle level management plan? Middle level management does what the top level management ideas they give, no, they plan how to convey these ideas to the this one lower level or the supervisory level management. Andre top level management kottanta strategy, how we have to convey to this lower level or supervisory level. The supervisory level management, what they do, they plan out daily work. So each level of management each level of management there is planning, but the scope of planning differs at a different level and the different departments. Financial department ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅವರು ಫಿನಾನ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದೇ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟು ಫಿನಿಶ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದೇ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ and plan regarding sales only. So that is why the scope of planning is there in all levels of management and in all departments in the organization, but the scope of planning, the way of planning, the criteria of planning at different level and different departments is different, because each one's objective, the ultimate objective of a company might be one of achieving the profit and performing far better, but when it comes to each department, their primary objective, their main objective differs from one another department. So to achieve those objectives, to achieve those goals, what they have to do, they have to plan accordingly. So that is why planning is pervasive, it is there everywhere, all departments as well as all level of management, but the scope or the criteria of planning differs for each department as well as to each level of management. So this is how planning is pervasive. Next point, planning is a continuous process. Planning is a continuous process. So planning is a continuous process. First I will be explaining to your example of getting 95% result. So 95% result plan, when did you make? You might have made it in the June when your academic year begin, but in middle somewhere November ನೀವು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಷ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ದು ಕಲ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪೆಂಡ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ಡ್ ಟಿಲ್ ನವೆಂಬರ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಂಗ್, ದಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್
studied, but exam is in March only. You do not get time after March. So what happens? Again you have to sit and plan in November to March. What 5 months we are having? November, December, January, February, March. What 5 months I am having? In that now ಮೊದಲು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನವೆಂಬರ್, ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್, ಜನವರಿ, ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ, ಮಾರ್ಚ್ ಮಂತ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಲಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಔಟ್, ಇಷ್ಟು ನವೆಂಬರ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಕಲ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅದು ಕಲ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ. ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ದ ರಿವಿಷನ್. ಸೊ ಅಗೇನ್ you have to sit and plan, because every time students how we plan things doesn't work like that. Things work in some other way. Whatever we plan now ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ ಪ್ರಕಾರನೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. that is how we tell in Kannada. Whatever we think, that doesn't happen. It will happen something as it how it wants. But again, what we should do when things are going out of control, we should sit and plan once again to get the things in control. Similarly, year planning is a continuous planning are preferred for a specific period of time. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾಡಿದ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 5 years ಗೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್, ದ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್, ದ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್. ವೈ? ದ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ working with you also will change. So what plans you will do today, it will be for the short term. Your goal might be of long term. But to achieve that goal, every now and then you have to update your plan. You have to review your plan. You have to take feedback from your employees. You have to take feedback from all the stakeholders. Not only taking feedback, and also you should re-implement the plan or redo the plan. So only that time what happens, ultimately at the end of the period where you want to achieve your goal, you will be able to achieve. Or else what happened, one or other day you will be outdated. Once you are outdated, can you survive in the market? You cannot survive in the market. So what happened? I'll best example one I'll give you. NEP is implemented this year. New educational or national educational policy is implemented this year. So what happens during that time? The institution might have planned to get what these many admissions, get 100% result, but along with that, when the new NEP is implemented, what they have to do? They have to plan for new syllabus, new what are the rules coming under NEP. There might be objective of getting the result of same, the initial goal or plan was same, but as soon as the rules change, what happened? They have to face those rules, they have to face that changes and implement those rules and regulations in the institution accordingly. For that, what happens? The management should come, sit with the staff and plan accordingly. So that is why planning is a continuous process, not only initially when the company is started or the business is started, not only planning during that time, but also continuously every now and then you have to plan, because what you plan initially may get outdated in few days or a few months. So that is why you have to do the planning continuously. So with this 4 points, I will end today's class. Hope you all have understood, students. I am stopping the class here, and the next remaining points will be continued by me in the next class. So that is why any doubts, if you all have, you all can clarify it to me through WhatsApp, or you all can call me anytime. These days the calls are reduced. I do not know why. What I understand is whatever I teach, you all have understood everything. So that is what I understand when I do not receive any calls or any messages. So I hope that is the case with you all also. And there is a class test on 12th, 13th and 14th, I think. Please do prepare accordingly. I think you all might have 3 chapters, and Princi ma'am will tell you next week more about it. So that is why prepare accordingly, study accordingly. And the assignment questions were given yesterday. I have got hardly 10 assignments out of 60 students. So this is not the way of doing it. So if you all are not taking it seriously and not studying accordingly, I tell you, definitely you will land up in the problem at the end of this year when your board exam approaches. So that is why please take the studies seriously and do the revision accordingly. So with this, students, I hope the first 4 points as well as the meaning of the planning and 4 features of planning are clear. We'll continue with the class, we'll continue with other points in the next class. For this, For today, I will end here. I will stop here. Thank you for attending. Have a nice day.